Night court.
Night court. Day drink.
Day drinking.
This can only mean one thing if you're hearing this, and that means you have the ability to hear. Hello, welcome to the show that makes you wish you were somewhere else, but instead you can't hit the back button because you're using an iPhone. Welcome to There Is a Better Podcast. My name is Tony, and right next to me we got
Mike Court. Mike Court.
And
on the other side of him...
The other side of him is me, but the other side of both of us...
Yes.
...is a screen. But the other side of the screen is...
Coco Chanel Ghosty, number 5. You know, we just keep on adding another word to that. It's going to be like 10 minutes long. You're going to be like Khaleesi.
Coco Chanel Ghosty.
Number 5.
Elemental
The first
P.
of your name. Breaker of chains. It's going to be like Khaleesi from Game of Thrones up in here before too long.
Breaker of hearts and smeller of farts.
Leader of First Men and the Andals and First Men again.
First Men. How many men do you have?
How many do you want? Oops. Now it's gotten weird.
I'm just letting you
this
guys
is the
carry
one
this
time
one
I
out.
don't have the
do
soundboard ready to go.
As
You're
you
an
say that
idiot.
as you're undressing in front of us, so someone's tickled your elbow over there. Welcome to the episode. This is episode 10. We made it to double digits.
Woo-hoo! Dun, da, da, da. The crowd goes mild.
Yeah, I think the next episode is where most podcasts fall off, so we'll see if we make it to 12.
What was that word again?
Podcast. Oh, God, right off the bat. Grammarly, you know, help. Send help. What are we doing? This week we have ripped from the headlines, as always. Mike's going to do a segment, as I talk to myself in the third person,
Good job,
about
Mike.
inappropriate texts.
And also about talking about yourself in the third person.
Yep. We got what's trending on Twitter. We brought that back from last week. That was kind of a hit, so we're going to do it again. We're going to come back from the break. We'll have a couple movie or TV show reviews.
Movies, TVs, anything that you can watch on a screen.
And
basically.
we'll wrap up with our
that
newest
includes
segment from last week. There is a better podcast. We're actually going to give you a better podcast to listen to.
That's
and
right.
Why.
Oh, and why? We have to give a reason why?
Of course we have to give a reason why.
So it's not just that it popped up on my playlist and all of a sudden like, oh, yeah, I guess I'll listen to
we
that.
support our friends, so we're going to do it.
You have friends?
As always, you can follow us on Twitter at There's a Better One, on Instagram at There's a Better Podcast, and send us an email at There's a Potty
podcast
There's
on
a potty
Potty
podcast.
Pod.
There's a Better Podcast at gmail.com.
Very good. Well, that's our show. Thanks for tuning
Hit
in.
him with the outro. Ghosty, it's good to have you back.
It's good to be back.
It is good.
At least for the moment.
For the moment.
See if we're getting through the episode. Like,
halfway through, just like, yeah, guys,
cannot
I
deal
remember
with
I
this.
have laundry I have going on.
it's like one skip from the soundboard, and he's like, nope, I'm done. What are we drinking this week, guys?
Something that's about to be open in 3, 2, 1.
Oh, that was somewhat perfect.
And you already opened
I'm already
yours.
halfway
He's
through
already
my
3
beer.
beers.
Yeah, you had one on the way over.
It was a
from
long-
what
it was a
I
long
did
build
pretty
up.
much, yeah.
Yeah, the conversation.
What do you got over
kinda
there?
went
Actually,
south
you have one of my
really quickly.
favorites. We drank that in the first episode that we were here.
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty much all day.
All day.
All day.
IPA. When me and Tony have Angry Mare from the
Lansing Brewing Company.
That is a good one.
Yep, it's another Michigan beer and one of my favorites. They also do like a cream ale, I think is what it is. And I like that one as well. But this is an IPA. That's very
Do you
tasty.
remember the conversation we had from the lady from New York?
Mm.
Where she was distraught. She was the owner of a local establishment
Was it 161?
that serves beverages.
Was it?
Much of it beer.
Was it the one that was by?
Well, she's from New York, and that was her biggest complaint about having a business.
Oh, yes, that's
in
right.
Michigan because Michigan people support Michigan beers, and so she had this thing where
I don't understand that because most people I know in Michigan are pretty equal opportunity with their beer drinking.
they are, but
We might be a little bit more
will
beer
say
snobbish
we
here in this state.
I think we are.
We're
I think we are
spoiled.
beer snobs.
We're spoiled rotten.
There's a
because
lot
we
of
have
good. There
beers.
is a lot of good beer out of the state.
Now, if we made a beer, not saying that we wouldn't, not saying we would, but not saying we wouldn't, what do you think we would call it? There's a better beer.
Yeah. Obviously, yeah. We didn't actually plan that, folks. That just kind of happened.
But I think we should plan that.
Speaking of which, I
Because it would
did
have been funnier if we did.
have some early conversations about a local brewery doing an episode remote inside the brewery, and they seem to be all about it.
Really?
More to come.
I'm always coming. Wait, no, that's
Oh
not
my
right.
God.
Jesus Christ of Latter-day
Right
Saints.
off the bat.
he's already gone too.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Tony's
Thirsty
coming.
Thirsty
You're an
Tony.
idiot.
Yep, Thirsty
Yeah.
Tony's in rare form right off the bat. Let's go to the.
I am thirsty, and that's why I'm drinking Angry Mayor from Lansing Brewing Company.
Whoa. Say it slower. Oh my God. Not again. Seriously.
Are you choking on that?
It's actually a good beer. Stop choking
It is
on
a good beer. I'll choke on whatever I want to choke on.
So let's go to the first segment. We got ripped from the headlines as always. This one actually surprised me. A 111-year-old Australian man recommends eating chicken brains for longevity.
Oh.
I'll just leave it at that. That's.
I mean, it sounds like a smart idea, but are chickens really that smart?
He's 111.
111.
Wow.
I mean, the guy would know.
It's
I'm
about
not
the,
gonna. I mean, I can't argue with a 111-year-old man.
I'm more like with the lady that I think she sadly just passed. She was really well known through COVID last year. That she said
She's
she was
known well through COVID. That's a terrible thing to be known for. I was known for, yeah.
She was 116, and she said her secret to longevity was Coors Light.
Hey, I think we have some of that in the fridge.
No, thank you.
Okay.
I would rather die.
Wait a minute. No, okay, you're right.
Considering my Coors Light intake, I probably will be.
We
Early
do have
demise.
PBR.
Like the Benjamin Button of beer drinking.
Right.
We do have PBR here as well in the refrigerator that is labeled "There is a better fridge," because that one is not as cold as I had hoped it would be.
I don't know what's going on with it. It's
I don't know
brand
either.
new. I think.
Yeah,
would
I just got it last week.
I'd crank it down to negative whatever.
Well, it went from a 4 to a 5. It's on a level of all things
Just
7.
make it cold, man.
Does it go to
Just
11?
make it a perfect 5 out
Turn
of
it
7.
up to 11.
Thank you.
Yep.
Does it go to 11?
No, it only goes to 7.
I believe that would be warmer.
So
I feel
you
like
are already 2/3 of the way there.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I mean,
Well,
not
give or take.
exact.
It was- I was 4/7.
5/7 really.
I'm 5/7 of the way there as
Yeah.
of now, but this beer was warm.
I swear to God, if
this
this
beer
is
was warmed at 4/7.
If this is a subtle attempt at dick sizes, I'm going to be really pissed. I'm 5/7 of an inch. Ooh. Never mind. I fucked that all up. Moving on to the next part of the rip from the headlines.
You are one pathetic loser.
I wish I could find the video, but it doesn't really. It's not like the one we showed with the Bobcat. It doesn't have like.
Before we do that, though, can I just make one observation about the 111-year-old guy?
Yeah.
He's 111 years old. Okay, moving on.
He interrupted me for that shit.
No, it actually reminds me of one of my favorite jokes from Stephen
I will
Wright.
say that I'm actually going to make the switch. I'm going to start eating chicken brains and drink Coors
Drink
Light.
Coors Light.
He's going to live forever.
Damn.
I'm going to be 150, and I'm going to go. This is all Coors Light. Here's all chicken brain.
He's going to be so old.
And
He's
you're
going to
gonna
start
look
looking
like
for the Infinity
You're going to
Stones.
look like Cousin It.
And quite
all
frankly,
hair.
I'm going to need to blend the chicken brains with the Coors Light.
Just to make a smoothie.
Liquid diet.
Oh God.
Chicken brains.
Chicken brain smoothie.
Which honestly is not going to alter the taste of Coors Light that much. So
The chicken brains might actually improve it. We are never going to get sponsored by Coors Light, and I'm sorry, Tony, because you love Coors Light.
I don't mind Coors Light. It's
As
not
you
my
sucked it
favorite
through
beer.
a Twizzler.
I did suck it through a Twizzler, and you know what? That was the best, worst idea I've ever had. But that reminds me of a joke of Stephen Wright. I don't know if you know who Stephen Wright is. He's kind of a very deadpan comic.
I know
anyway.
Joe Wrong, but not Stephen Wright.
So Stephen Wright, one of his best jokes, in my opinion, is, "I plan on living forever. So far, so good."
Cheesy, like
It's just,
it.
yeah, I fucked it up, but hey, that's just me.
I didn't play the video for the next segment because, unlike the Bobcat video where it had a lot of flair, pizzazz, you can kind of listen to it and kind of tell what's going on. This one, it's just like a normal firefighter scene of they're putting out this fire in this looks like an apartment complex, and all of a sudden you see this cat just jump off the 5th-story window to get away from the flames, and it just walks off like normal, like, I'm here. I got 3 more lives. Let's do this. Not a problem at all. Like, no issue at all. 5 stories straight down. I'm like,
Wow.
and it just walks off. Cats are so cocky. I hate them.
Cat said 9
I love them
lives.
at the same time.
5 stories later, 4 left.
This next one, I can't believe it didn't make the news as much as it did. I kind of stumbled upon it a couple weeks ago. 2 planes actually collided midair over Denver, and nobody was hurt. The second plane was a cargo plane, and you can actually Google these and you can see the plane images.
So wait, you have a car or you have a truck full of stuff, and that's shipment. You have a ship full of stuff, and that's cargo. What is a plane full of stuff?
Careful not to type in two women and
It's not a plane go.
And some cups and stuff
Two
like that. I'm
girls.
not doing that. Not falling for that again. That was devastating.
One
at the
receptacle.
time.
if you want to see a reaction,
No.
Oh, God.
So yeah, one of them is a cargo jet, a green one, and it's basically cut in half. And I can't believe that nobody was hurt.
Nobody was hurt?
Not at all.
Wow.
The other plane, like the parachute deployed, and it just
the first one was a cargo
back to the
plane.
earth.
What was the second?
I'm assuming
Look at
either
this
one
plane.
was a,
Okay, so
was
for
a
those playing
passenger plane at
for
all.
those playing
We'll put
at
it out
home,
on our social media. We'll put it out on Twitter and
Well, yeah, but I mean, whatever. For those playing at home, just to get an idea of it, so the fuselage is like 50% there. The front half is there. The back half is there, and right in the center is
It's
just
ripped
almost
in
all
half.
cut out. Almost like it's almost like one of those. You go
kinda
to the
looks
science
like-
museum, and
it
it's
looks
got one
like
of those.
like kind of somebody puked it out or something.
It looks
Yeah.
like
it doesn't even look real, does it?
No,
And
no, it looks like a Photoshop.
It's nothing. Yeah, here's the other plane right here. It actually just deployed its parachutes in the back of the plane and just kind of flowed.
Was
down.
that Elon Musk flying in the other plane?
No, he still hasn't recovered from SNL. But it's nothing short of a miracle that nobody wasn't hurt or killed in that. Because you normally don't hear about two planes colliding and everybody being okay at the end of it.
So did we ever? Was the other one a
It just
cargo
looks like-
plane too? Then?
No, it was I believe a passenger.
Oh, it was?
a small passenger plane.
It looks like one of those things that you go to a science museum and they like have the cutaway halfway
Yeah.
through and you can see like all the insides and shit like that. Which is
That's
kind of cool in a way,
that's
but
incredible.
this is freaking ridiculous.
Just incredible.
yeah.
Well, thank God everybody was all right with that.
Everybody
one.
was all right. That's good. Well, you know why that everybody was all right, because it was the Denver airport, and that's riddled with conspiracy theories. You go ahead and look that up on your own.
I am not typing that into my laptop right now.
No, because you don't want to be banned from my internet service provider.
The next segment, this is kind of fitting. I went on a little rant before we got recording today, but Florida woman, not Florida man, surprisingly, Florida woman, 28 years old, is arrested as she posed as a high school student for a week to promote her Instagram. That's how bad things have to be for you to promote your Instagram, is to go back to high school. Nobody wants to go back to high school. I don't want to go back to high school. I don't care enough about Instagram to have that many followers anyways, as we just promoted my Instagram a minute ago. Did I tell you why I don't like it?
I don't really go on Instagram. So.
I go on there, and it's funny because you click this. I don't mind interact. We interact with other podcasts on there fairly often, but it's so vain for me because you click the search button, like, hey, you want to look for somebody, and it populates the field for you, and it's all pictures of, well, women's faces or people's faces. Like, you've never seen a generation that's so in love with themselves more than they are on Instagram. It seems like it's all the way throughout.
I have no problem with that.
Oh, God.
What, being in love with
Have you
yourself?
seen all of my Instagram posts? I mean, it's just my face. It's on my bike, and everything else is photoshopped out of just my face. I love Instagram.
I know. That's why you run Instagram and I run
God.
Twitter.
Yeah. Not to mention all the, thirsty material that's
can't
out there.
stand any
I don't have
of
a problem
them,
with that.
I love Twitter. You can get yourself on Twitter. Whoa.
It's like
get
a
yourself
lot
in
of
trouble.
drool.
Drivel, I think, is what you were looking for.
No,
Oh,
drool.
okay, drool. Yeah. Well, it's a good thing that our phones are waterproof, and I think that's why they created waterproof phones.
So that you could drool while looking at Facebook.
If that's what you want to call drool, or maybe dribble, or squirt.
How about gruel?
I don't want to use any negative words, so I'm not going to say I hate it.
Okay.
I'm not saying I hate it. I just find it really vain.
I've met people who are like livid and hate Facebook, and I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa, calm down. We don't need to throw the hate out there.
I deleted mine earlier this year.
What, your Facebook?
Completely?
Huh.
I remember you said that you'd got rid of it, and I thought you just deactivated
At
it.
the
all.
time,
No, you
did
just deleted it
At the
all.
time, did you hate it?
I hated that family members and people that I thought I knew and respected. It was hard to when on Twitter and everything's anonymous, you can't really tell who's who and all this other stuff. But when you got your friends and family that are spouting bullshit conspiracy theories over and over again, and they just can't stop it. And
That's why you take them off the friends and family plan on your phone.
well, yeah, just spewing hateful things. It became so overwhelming that I got to the point of dreading it, and I couldn't stop myself from looking at it. I'm like, you know what? There's one easy solution: just delete it. And I've honestly never felt better since I did it. I feel like I could still maintain some loosely based family.
So you did go back on?
No, I never did.
Oh, okay. So you're still off Facebook?
Yep, I feel great about it.
Well, that's crazy. I was able to tag you the other day.
That's not me.
Okay.
That's my subtle Facebook account.
Oh, no, it wasn't you. I'm sorry. That was my uncle.
Speaking of mistaken identities, have you ever like inadvertently sent inappropriate text to the wrong person?
I never do.
I find that really hard to believe.
I never do.
I can
don't-
tell you I have.
I can tell you with a straight face.
You got a
and
good
say I
story?
never do.
One that you
Nope.
could share? Oh, shit.
Oh, he just buried his own lead.
Oh, I got one. You guys can't know about it. That's what you felt like. It's like you tease them, you get them to that point. They're like, nah, never mind, I'm good.
Oh, come on!
That was tickling the balls too,
Yeah,
by the way.
that was-
You guys
right.
can't see that at home, but I did the tickling the balls motion.
Airstrike standing by.
What just happened there?
Imagine, if you will, Mike tickling the balls.
Yes. Not tickles balls in Scottish accent.
That was me replying to the getting. Never mind.
Oh my god!
Yeah, there it is.
Did somebody like call out an airstrike on
I
our
don't know.
house?
Could you do it again? Thank you, Mike.
Hi. But anyways,
You're an idiot.
I won't be a chicken shit. I'll actually tell a story. Actually, it isn't really my story. Somebody.
I'll tell you the story.
God,
though.
I'll tell you the story. Yeah, it's not mine, though.
Well, it has me. I'm part of the story, but
Are you,
I didn't.
were you the recipient of the text?
Well, kind of. Well, here's
Oh,
what
okay.
happens. I was out. This is a long time ago. This is before I was married. I was out
glad you're putting that out
at a
there.
bowling alley with somebody I was seeing, I guess is the best way to say it. And she kept on giving me the googly eyes after a while, and I'm like, "What are you doing? Like, why?" She's like, "Why aren't you reacting to your phone? Like, you've been on your phone a couple of times, but you haven't said anything." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" More time goes by, more time. She's like, "You seriously not going to say anything?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Turns out, she's like, "I sent you some risky pictures." I'm like, "Oh, maybe it's my signal or something."
Was
I
she
don't-
like sending you like stock tips or something? That kind of risk?
Dogecoin? No.
Oh,
Dogecoin. Dogecoin. Turns out, instead of the risky pictures that she went into the restroom and apparently sent, she sent them to her brother named Mike,
Oh,
who was sitting with us. Oh, that was not cool because he didn't know. He didn't know about us being a thing at the
Of
time.
course,
That-
you had the balls for that. There was no risk for you in that.
I was, yeah, I know. I was trying to buy time for you to build up your confidence and tell the story.
I don't know that I can quite remember it. It was quite a while ago. It was before I was married, so
I don't know why I thought you were going to say it was before I was born. I'm like, what?
I'm not married. That's the joke.
Yeah, I know. I got it.
So basically, it was nothing more other than the fact that I was not hanging out with the person I should have been, and there was a point where the person was. I'm trying to dance around this to the point that I'm not like insinuating or saying that there's anybody in particular, but basically. I was cheating on my girlfriend at the time.
Oh.
And the other girl was trying to get me to come inside her
I bet
house.
she was trying to get you
Oh
to.
my god!
And I said, look, and I text back, I'm sorry, I can't spend the night. And
Oh, wrong.
I sent it to my girlfriend.
Oh, Freudian slip.
Damn.
And yeah, pretty much.
Were you instantly caught?
No, because basically, my girlfriend and I had been talking back and forth anyway, and she just kind of thought it was part of the conversation in a way. She goes, well, I didn't expect you to, that kind of a thing. So it was kind of one of those things where I just landed on my feet as I usually do.
Wow.
You're like that cat from the Fifth Story window.
Yes. Now that being said,
Yes.
I don't do that anymore. So
That's good. That's
it's been
good.
years since I've
You disgust me.
right.
Send inappropriate text.
Now, now that this is not a story that happened to me, this is just something I saw that was on, I think it was Instagram or not Instagram, TikTok or something like that.
Okay, another one with no risk.
With no risk at all, zero zilch nada. But you want to?
And I'm the chicken shit. Come on.
I don't send texts
don't
to people who don't deserve them.
Chicken shit.
I'll-
We eat
I'll
So
chicken
leave
you've
it-
had,
brains.
I'll
you've
leave
had
it
to
at
have
that.
sent me one.
Did I send you something?
You've had to have.
Just the nudes or
Just the
anything else?
nudes. Just the nudes. If
Sorry,
I
go
did,
ahead.
you tell me, because
Tell the
my
story.
memory is about as good as exactly. So, excuse me.
When did all the animal noises come out of ours?
Sorry. So, you want to end a marriage instantly. You send a text to your wife from a hotel room that you're staying at, but then you realize, oh shit, I left the live photo on. This is one reason why I don't use live photo. There are multiple reasons. I just don't care for live photo, but for those iPhone users, you know what that is. For those who are not iPhone users, you don't know what that is. But anyway, live photo, it just whatever you snapped a picture on, it records like, I don't know,
5 seconds or so.
Yeah, before and after. So whatever you clicked on or whatever you took a picture of, that is the center of that whole like clip, so to speak. Well, anyway, he took a picture of a completely open bed, and he sent a picture to his wife saying, I wish you were here. And his wife looked at it, and she thought, oh, that's really cute. Wait a minute. What does this thing do? And so she holds it down. She pushes it down on the screen, and that's how you activate the live functionality. So it plays the whole clip, and all of a sudden, on the left side of the screen, this beautiful blonde woman's hair just
flings into the camera.
Right in the bottom,
Stupid
bottom lower
jackass.
left-hand corner of the camera. And pretty much that was over after that.
I don't think that was an issue because, I mean, he was just saying, wish you were here. Didn't say that,
Didn't say who it was.
Well, what I'm saying is he probably did wish she was there with the blonde. I mean.
Oh, well, in that case, if it's a,
It's a guy thing.
It's a guy thing.
Pretty much.
I inadvertently sent, now that I think about it, not like inappropriately text like those two, but I inadvertently sent one to my mom, bitching about my mom when I thought was going to my
that story up with that.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I sent it what I thought was to my sister bitching about my mom, but I sent it to my actual mom saying, Mom is such a fucking child. I don't know why she's doing this. I can't believe that. And she's like, oh, really? This is how you feel? I'm like, well, at this point, yep.
Yeah, you told me about that when it happened shortly.
Yeah, that was
after.
not cool.
That
but
was not cool.
I instantly gave up the
And then I
moral-
asked her for her number.
Yeah,
I just wanted to
that's
make
always
her
been
feel
an
a little
awkward
bit better.
moment between us.
Just wanted to make it feel a little bit better.
Oh, God.
For both of you.
Moving on, next segment. What's trending on Twitter?
I don't know. What is trending on Twitter?
RadioShack.
RadioShack?
RadioShack was
Did you ever go to
trending on Twitter.
RadioShack?
Yes, actually, it's written right there. Been to a couple 100 times. You know how many times I've ever bought anything from RadioShack?
Well, I'm looking at the notes, and I know how to answer your question now.
Stop reading my notes.
Well, you told me to read the notes, and now you're telling me not to read the notes. What am I supposed to do?
I'm not
going to lie. This is one of those businesses. Does this still exist?
It
doesn't exist, does it?
Well, actually, here we go.
Hate when he does
knows
that.
I hate this. It says my question immediately. My mind went to it. I said, "Are they around anymore?" And I immediately said, went to their Twitter page, and it says, "We're back" in capital letters. And I said, "No, you're not." Basically, they do sell like rechargeable batteries and stuff. It sounds like they all sell it like remotely. They said there's still stores, but
It's basically all the knockoff.
And they're still calling themselves RadioShack?
yes,
They do sell radios.
I thought
though,
they went out of
but I
business.
didn't see any shacks. I was kind of disappointed.
Get out.
In that.
I always thought they were massively overpriced. I didn't really understand RadioShack. I didn't see.
If it wasn't for RadioShack, I wouldn't have like half the shit that I have here. Like all the
serious?
I'm dead serious. Like all the little audio, video things, the peripheral shit.
Never bought anything.
That's where I bought it
Never
from.
bought anything more than like wires.
I've been there
That's
hundreds
it.
of times. I've never bought a thing. I just
never
walk
bought a
around
phone
and look
from
at
them,
stuff.
though.
Never.
You could buy a phone.
And I
from
can't say that I've been there hundreds of times. It was just kind of like, oh, okay, this is here. Let's stop by.
them. Yeah. Well,
Which
good
I
for
think
RadioShack
is
if
their
they've come back now.
was their problem. Was.
What was
So
their problem
did
again?
you declare? I mean, are they actually back?
According to they say that they're back.
They have brick and mortar stores around.
It's like
supposedly.
Circuit City. Circuit City said that they were back, but they're basically just selling Tiger Direct shit through their
That's
website.
basically
Borders books and
Borders Books. For those who don't know Borders Books, look it up.
Look it.
or for those who don't know Circuit City, look it up.
Circuit Titties.
Circuit Titties. Well, you can look that one up. I'm sure that's out there.
I think that just goes back to real.
Look at
time.
this.
All right.
Look at this website. Look,
Yeah,
it's like a grave.
RadioShack linens and things.
These are all the companies that went out of
Dress
business. They're all
Barn.
one.
Yeah,
They're
Pier 1,
selling
yeah.
dress and Pier.
What the hell is Farmers? Ooh, don't type that in wrong. That goes to a different website.
Wait, what did you look up?
Supposed to be
is
Farmers
RadioShack.com.
Cart. FARMERS.
And
Cart.
they list a bunch of stuff that's out of business.
I think this is a conglomerate of all the companies together.
That went
now.
out of
What was
business.
that again?
Conglomerate.
Conglomerate.
That's what I said.
Grammarly, we need you to sponsor us.
Look, this is what I kept on finding. They kept on selling these rechargeable batteries. Look at. I want to find a location.
Those are like cute batteries, though.
Look at that. That's the only thing I would
Oh
ever
my God,
buy.
I would buy that.
The only thing I would ever buy from Radio Shack is a Radio Shack.
Can you click on that?
A Radio Shack
That
shirt.
is an
Oh, shit,
awesome
it just-
shirt.
it just
I would
banned
actually
us.
buy that.
I think we found our first sponsor.
Oh man, I'd
Look
buy
at
that.
that. That's some great shit.
Hat.
Yeah, they got the
It's a
hat.
trucker hat, man.
Oh
Yes.
my God.
$22.99.
That's totally not worth it, and I would buy
And
it.
now I will buy something from
know what we should
Radio
do?
Shack.
Yes, me too. Tony, I feel like we should buy one of these.
I
and
think
maybe
we
give it
should.
out to one of our Twitter followers or something.
Yes.
Do a little controversy, like randomly send out a Radio Shack hat.
So
We'll
is
make
that
them
the
earn
website?
it.
Should we give the website? I mean, because
Yeah.
I would like to support
This
the
is
cause.
radio-
It's RadioShack.com,
it's RadioShack.com.
right?
.com. It still exists. I can't
So
find
if
locations.
you want yourself a Radio Shack trucker hat, go to RadioShack.com. They're kind of awesome, and I'm definitely going to get one of those T-shirts, man.
The
Look at
t-shirts
this.
are cool.
Look at the Shack is back.
The Shack is back. That's awesome.
Talk nerdy to me. T-shirt. This is amazing. What a great segment of like us being able to see things, and the
Wow.
listeners are like, "What the hell are they talking about?"
Yeah, you totally need to go. Oh, they have the TRS-80 logo. Oh,
Where?
That's the last one. That tiny one, right?
Yeah.
No, down.
Oh, wait.
It's the single one in the. There it is.
Yes, it is.
The Tandy TRS-80 logo. We
Click
used to
on
have
that.
one of those.
Let me see that.
That's it.
Oh, it's a T-shirt.
We're gonna buy something from here, and we're gonna give
Oh
it
yeah,
away to one of
definitely.
our
I
followers.
actually definitely will do
Actually, I
that.
might
We used to
buy
have
that.
one of those we used to have one of those TRS-80s, and it had like you remember back in the day when you couldn't save anything, you had to put it on a tape,
Yes.
a cassette tape.
Yes.
So you plug in the cassette tape machine, you push record, and then, and it sounded really loud and obnoxious if you ever actually tried to listen to it back. Yeah, we used to have one of those though, and I remember like it was all in BASIC, CLS. I think it was like clear screen. That was the command, I want to say.
Well, that's
Kind of the only thing I remember of it, but that's badass.
No, I'm sorry, guys. I'm over here sitting there scrolling through this website.
Yeah,
like,
well, we're just
completely
talking
mind
about
blown
Radio
here.
Shack and the TRS-80.
Well, you know what, Tony? Before we go to the midtro, which I think we're due for, why don't you hit him with your? You created your top 10 because you always last week me and you got in an argument about Chris Elliott. And you give for some reason Chris Elliott all his credit because he used to be a writer on
David Letterman.
which is like a god to you, which is fine. Everyone loves Letterman.
Yeah,
But like to give Chris Elliott credit for it was like offensive to me for some reason. Me and Chris
Wait.
Elliott.
So
well, you're offended about just about anything anyway, so it doesn't. Really
Instagram.
So what exactly was the argument about?
Well, I love Schitt's Creek. Love Schitt's Creek.
So do I.
Fantastic show.
By the way, I just finished it.
I
Tony.
actually was just watching that before I came here.
oh,
Are you
nice.
serious?
Well, how far are you through the series?
I just got up to season 2.
I just finished the other day.
I actually had already watched up to the point that I'm at. I'm just trying to pass by all that because I forgot what happened.
we're gonna
just to
we're
catch
gonna run
back up
long
to-
now because I'm
Anyway,
going a little bit of a
Schitt's Creek.
Yeah.
By the way, fuck you, Tony, fuck you again for making me watch a show which was truly fantastic and iconic for things that happened later on in the series, right? But the way it wraps up, it just tickles the emotional chords inside of you.
I told you how many times I shed a tear on that,
it gets you,
and you're like, I'm too manly. I don't
no,
do
no,
that.
that's not absolutely true. Like stuff like this gets me. I wasn't expecting it to get me as bad as it did.
This
Like,
is Schitt's
really?
Creek.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Schitt's Creek gets you at the end. Like they put a bow on things pretty nice at the end.
No spoilers, but
No, I'm
it's-
not gonna
Yeah,
do it.
please don't.
But as you can tell, it's a pretty well written
I like how
show.
they
But when you get
address-
to season 3, it just really starts.
It's kind of
to
like
pull
going back
you-
to what you were talking about
pulls you
earlier,
in.
probably before the podcast started. But you were talking about things that like address issues without it being in your face, and
Yes.
and address topics as a whole. They do a really good job of that later on, and they just kind of avoid certain topics and go kind of towards certain ones. And I don't want to ruin it for you, but this will make sense later on. And
Okay.
they do a really, really good job. But
Looking forward
anyways,
to it.
Yeah.
I was talking about how much I love the show, and which was surprising to me because I don't like Chris Elliott. Can't stand
See,
Chris
now,
Elliott.
he's hit or miss with me, and the funny thing about him, every time I see him, including now, until you just said it today, I can never remember his last name. I always go, Chris, that guy.
Chris Anthem.
That used to be on Letterman.
Yeah.
That
Well, the
can't
funny thing is that you
remember
knew that he was on
his
Letterman,
name.
but you didn't
Never knew.
remember
Oh,
his name.
I remember him in a lot of stuff. In fact, he did.
He was the guy under the seats.
Well, I
That was-
remember
that was the big thing
he
he did.
actually had that movie where Letterman makes.
Yeah, Cabin Boy.
See, and I forgot
Oh,
the name of
God,
that
see.
movie.
And now,
But I can
and now
remember
Cabin
parts
Man.
of it.
Would you like to buy a monkey?
And that movie was awful. Sorry.
Yeah, it was a terrible movie. But
It is terrible.
It was a terrible movie.
And I-
Dave Letterman was the best part of the whole damn thing.
Yeah.
and I'm not saying that Chris Elliott's not a
Chris
talented.
Elliott was the second best part of that whole damn thing.
He's not a talented actor. I just don't. He just whatever reason he rubs me the wrong way.
I kind of feel neutral about him.
It's my strong hand. I still try not to laugh at that from
Neutral.
Scary Movie. Grab my strong hand. Woo-hoo.
right.
All right, get to your top 10.
Yeah, do it.
All right.
Then we got to go to our intro.
Yeah, and I was trying to look up. I was trying to pull up some drum roll shit, but it's not going to happen. Wow, you guys are harmonizing with yourself.
The only time I'll ever be able to harmonize in my life.
It's a good thing we got that on tape. Now we can frame it.
Yep. Like these RadioShack hats.
All right. So, because we are on episode number 10, if you're binary, that's 10 meaning 2. So we're only on the second episode. There are 2 types of people in this world. Those who understand binary. Sorry, there are 10 types of people in this world, and I fucked up the joke. Those who understand binary and those that don't.
Hit him with
So
it.
that we're already into episode number 10, I figured what better way to cap it off with a top 10 list.
Which I challenge you to make every week.
You did challenge me to make, and I rose to that challenge, and then I went underneath the bar.
Good.
Here we go.
That's what we do.
The
It's a
category
better
for
podcast.
tonight from the home
Do it
office
limbo.
in my basement. Top 10 better ways to spend an hour rather than listening to this podcast.
Yes.
Here we go.
Go.
Number 10. That's when you do the drum roll. Number 10. Bask in the entire series of John Benjamin has a van. You might want to
I
Google
think
that.
we're going to alternate. Go ahead. You go on this one.
Got it.
Number 9, take the Pepsi challenge. Number 8, serve as Matt Gates' personal life coach. Number 7, grilling steaks at a vegan rally. Number 6, dipping your digits into another man's rectum for
I
science.
just sound like I'm purring. So
Ooh, shake that tail.
Ooh. Number 5, respect every damn follicle. Number 4, sample the rich tapestry of gas station cheeses. Number 3,
oh yeah.
start another fucking meeting which could have been resolved in an email.
God,
Number
preach.
2.
Or to have a meeting about a meeting.
Oh, meetings
Yeah,
about a meeting.
about meeting.
I have been
The
in
planning
those.
to plan meetings.
Yes. Meetings,
they're terrible.
Meetings to have meetings.
We're gonna create a. We're gonna
When
create.
would you like to meet about this meeting?
Just like I want to pull out my follicles. Sorry, Tony. Like just remembering the pain and anguish. Like, what did I do to deserve this punishment of being selected to go to this email? Or whoops, you see, I said
Yeah,
it. It
I
should have
know
been
you
an
did.
email.
We're going to create this committee, and this committee needs a subcommittee to drive the committee. But that
Sounds like our
subcommittee should
government.
also have a subcommittee, and that subcommittee is made up by the same members who form the entire committee. So just a circle jerk. That's right. Top 10 better ways to spend an hour rather than listening to this podcast. Number 2, make a top 10 list for a show rated lower than cable access cooking.
All right.
And the number one better way to spend an hour rather than listening to this podcast. One word, jazzercise. There you go.
Hey.
And we're taking to the metro. We'll see you back after this.
Sound like somebody's fapping. Whoops. I'm still alive.
Is that when we cut it?
No, we don't cut anything. I still love the radio.
It's the music.
Jesus. Wait, is that Tony?
I don't know, but it smells over here. I can tell that. I can tell you that already. Nice job. That was a really good teleportation.
Arby's.
I want Arby's now.
Gross.
You don't like Arby's?
I don't mind Arby's, but it makes me sick.
And I bet
there's a
Taco
go-
Bell is this the epitome of like everything's fine with you. Like, look at me getting angry about.
Well, there's a golfing story behind that too. You remember that, right?
Vaguely.
I feel like every time you guys say something, there's a golfing story
That's all that we
part of
do.
It's pretty much
We just golf. That's all we do, 100% of the time. Welcome back to the second half of There Is a Better Podcast. If you're still with us, okay.
Why? I'm sorry.
Okay.
I feel bad
This
for
is
you.
Mr. Optimism.
We've got Mr. Optimism Mike over here,
On the ones and twos.
along with Mr. or Miss Optimist,
Hello. Coco
Ghosty
Chanel, number 5.
Coco Nichelle.
First of his
Chanel.
name.
first of his kind, first in his family, first
Breaker of chains.
breaker of
Hey,
chains.
let's bring that music down. I'm gonna go right into it. You guys made me think of something.
And I'm Tony. Go.
And you're Tony.
Yeah, that's
Hey,
that's
so
what I just said.
with my oldest son, we've started watching Game of Thrones, and I've already seen it a couple times. So
What's
nothing-
Game of Thrones?
You don't you dare! I know you've seen this because we talked about it, and it's more shocking that you've seen it because you have kind of a
I don't care.
I don't want to
for
say
that.
weak stomach, but you liked it.
I liked some of it. I like now.
Oh my God! Between this and the
Coco-
Arby's comedy, I'm ready to be done with this podcast. Like I am livid right now.
And that's
I
it.
am
It's over.
angry.
It's over. It's done.
Coco
I am
Chanel number
angry.
12 and a half, and there's a reason behind that number.
But-
He's a big fan of the show.
Yeah.
Love it.
And
There's a
so
better
like
podcast?
there was a point, yes, and so there was a point where I started kind of hopping on that bandwagon. Just
Yes.
like The Walking Dead, I get into it a little bit late,
Like 6 years.
Basically, you were kind of forced to watch it in a way.
in a way, but I liked what I was seeing as it was coming toward a close, and I think maybe that's why I liked it, because I didn't have to watch it ever again.
I'm so offended right now.
Good, I'm drinking Guinness.
But I'm watching it with my son.
How's your cup of shit?
And we're early on in the seasons, and somebody will die, and he'll just
What? Spoiler alert! You can't just put that out there.
Somebody dies in Game of
Somebody-
Thrones?
Really?
Really?
He'll look at me and he's like, "Dad,"
This
I'm
is
like,
what I have to put up with, folks.
and I put my hands up like the emoji saying, "Fucking Game of Thrones, man! Game
you-
of Thrones, man!"
Were you familiar with the books before you
No,
actually
I
watched
wasn't.
it? Okay,
That's actually one of the things I want
So
to do.
neither
is-
was I. In the very first season, my favorite character died.
At this point, you're not spoiling it for anybody.
So
if
I
you
ca-
haven't seen it by now, you're not going to watch the
That
show.
was the guy who carried Lucille around, wasn't it?
Well, I kept having to pick new characters.
that was a different show.
I kept
That was
having to
Walking
pick new
Dead,
favorites.
sorry.
And every time I'd pick a
They
favorite,
die.
they'd die. And
He-
I'd be like, son of a bitch.
I know he doesn't watch this all the way through, but he's like, "Dad, I got to tell you, like Rob Stark's my favorite character." I'm like, and I just sit there like, "Man, he's pretty good." And I'm sitting there like, I don't want to spoil it for him. I want him to like.
I will say
Feel it.
he was never one of my favorites.
You didn't like Robbie?
Uh,
You didn't like the Starks, did you?
no, I loved
Tony
Ned.
was a good one.
Ned,
He was my
Ned was my
Stark.
favorite.
I love Tony Stark.
I liked Tony. Yeah, he came in with the whole costume and everything.
Yeah. Well, it's really just because
Screw
he
your
and I share the
dragons.
same name. That's all. The rest of it.
That's
can
how
go,
Tony
the rest
Stark
of it can go.
talks. Screw your dragons.
In Scottish accent.
Open
But
the door.
it's fun like watching him. Like he doesn't even know like what happens on. We're only finishing up at season 2, so we have so much more to go. We still have 6 more seasons to suffer through, and he's going to be like the rest of us. We find a new character, we love them, they die, and we just move on.
There's a bottle opener over there.
He'll
on
learn.
The, wall.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
I've
you
always,
I have a feeling
you know
he's
I've
gonna-
always got a
alright,
bottle opener on me.
Yeah.
I have a feeling he's going to like
I figured you would like that.
Cersei or something like some stupid shit.
I'm
like
down
that.
with the Guinness.
Right on. Me too.
Speaking of sons,
And honestly, wait, before we go beyond that, what's his name?
Who?
Peter
Pumpkin Eater.
Dinklage. What's the character?
Tyrion Lannister.
Yes.
Yeah, he was always one of my
Yeah,
favorites.
everybody
And-
who doesn't
and
like
he made it
Tyrion. Well, 2 reasons.
there. Well, he's one of those guys you grow to like, though.
Well, yeah. And then
But
you
what
have
if
his
you're-
brother Jaime's Lannister, who you despise. Then you're like, wait a minute.
And
then
then
you
you-
despise him. Then you're like,
But
wait a minute.
that is the beauty of Game of Thrones,
It's
though. Is
great writing.
the character arcs. I mean,
There's
it's just
certain
like,
ones you hate all the way through. Cersei,
Yeah,
probably.
well, even Cersei had
Remember,
her soft
Ghosty doesn't
spots
use
where
the
it was
word
like
hate.
you would get to see something beyond what you're presented with.
Yeah.
And they even
That's great writing, though.
And don't get me wrong, she still was a bitch all the way through. but
That's great writing, though. wouldn't
I
you?
will tell you this: I don't know the actress's name.
Emilia Clarke.
I think
Oh, wait.
she.
Amelia Estevez.
I think
That's,
she
that was the wrong one.
is one of the most brilliant actresses I've ever seen in my life.
She will struggle to get another role the rest of her career.
She will.
because
She'll probably be
it was so
typecast.
iconic.
Typecast. Yep.
Yep.
But I have never seen somebody like offer so much emotion with just like a twitch of her eye or whatever. I mean, just you watch her and you're like, oh my god, that was awesome.
I'm really mad that I can't think of her name right now. It'll come to me in a second. I'll scream out Alan Iverson like you did one episode. Alan Iverson.
By the way, have you talked to Alan Iverson lately?
Nah, he kind of after that episode he stopped talking.
Oh,
he was
sorry,
done with
sorry
you.
to
He's
hear
like,
He's like, dude, you couldn't remember my fucking name. Screw you.
it was like 20 minutes, like a full 20
oh,
later.
yeah.
Because
It was
that
a-
is probably so not how Alan Iverson talks.
You're talking about
I
practice.
thought Alan Iverson was in the room with us just a second ago.
I think the point of that was I know nothing about sports, and we were giving him credibility, right? Because
it's down to us
I knew
giving-
his name.
If it's down to us giving out credibility, we're in probably. Lena, here he is. Here's Lena Headley.
Headley, yes.
Yeah, she'll struggle to get another role the rest of her life. Peter, he kind of transcends acting right now. He's kind of all over the place, but yeah, those certain roles you just.
Yeah, he's in one of the greatest movies
Been
I've ever
around
seen.
for a while, though, even before that, though, right?
Oh yeah.
He's in one of the greatest movies I've ever seen, and that's I Care a Lot.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we had an off podcast discussion about that. I did not like that movie at all.
I did a review of it.
You liked it. I
did because the opposite
I
direction.
refused to watch it because of what it was about.
Speaking of Netflix, let's go right into Mike's movie review.
Let's hit the music. Mike's movie reviews. You take on the ones and the twos, and you're cute.
What if we ever got a real harmonica up here?
You know,
I
I actually
have
meant
one.
to bring mine.
Did you really?
I forgot.
Hey, the first thing that I'm going to review this week is on Netflix. It's actually Shadow and Bone. This Shadow and Bone is a weird thing for me. It's based off the book series, which I knew nothing about, and I still don't because I didn't care enough to look into it. But I knew about this a long time ago because Netflix bought the rights to it, and they sunk a bunch of money into it, and they did what Netflix has been doing. They forgot to market it. They didn't put it out anywhere that it was coming out. They didn't really do anything with it, with the exception of a movie that I'm going to review later on called Army of the Dead. Spoiler alert.
I see another one that I'm pretty hyped to talk to you about. 'Cause
Okay.
That one I actually saw.
Oh, good. Shadow and Bone has some weird Russian vibes. Basically, it's about this world that some people are born with magic abilities.
Are you
and-
saying it's weird because it's got a Russian vibe or because Russians are weird?
No, we have listeners in Russia for somehow, but
I didn't say it. You
no,
said
you
it.
brought it up.
You said it.
It got it because they keep on hopping around this thing that they're like they wear Russian like World War II type outfits, and it's just weird. Like it's entertaining, absolutely for sure. It's just weird. I wonder if I cared enough, I probably should have looked into it if the writer was actually Russian and that's where it comes from. But it was great. It sets up the second season very nicely. It has solid bones. See what I did there? Shadow and Bone. It has solid bones, and it sets up season 2 nice. If they invest into it, they have something on the hand. They kind of started talking to this as it was Game of Thrones
Okay.
esque, and that was a mistake because whenever you throw Game of Thrones out there, it's so iconic with so many in nerd culture and just
it's
culture in a
definitely
general.
a challenge to compare.
And that was a mistake by doing that. But they have something on their hand. It's another one of those Netflix series that has some bones to it. At this point, I wish I knew where the other co-host was.
What's the
Tony.
name of that? What's the name of that again?
It's called Shadow and Bone.
Okay, so it's got no shadow to it then.
No, there is a shadow. There's
Oh,
actually
there
this,
is a shadow.
I
There's
once
this
knew a
continent.
dog named Shadow.
There's a continent, and there's this divide that goes right down the middle. It's like this dark area, and inside this dark area is all these creatures that kill everybody that tries to cross the sea, and that's basically what the story's all about. Like how it got this weird thing, and it creates this strife within the continent. I don't even really want to spoil it. I think this is actually worth a watch. It does take a little bit to get into. But I'm going to tell you, there's some side people in the story. Not these main characters. These side people have like a heist, and they kind of steal a show. There's a guy called Jasper, and he puts a crew together, and they're actually more entertaining than the actual storyline. And they have something there, and they need to stick with it.
Entertaining.
So if I was going to say, I said I like it, and it's worth a watch. Is it critically acclaimed? No, it's not. But you just watch it. You'll be entertained. Just do it.
It's just one season so far.
One season. I believe it got picked up for number 2 already. And we won't see that till at the end of next year at the very, very earliest. And I don't think that's going to happen because just the special effects with that one takes a while to produce. But in my humble opinion, it's good. It's worth a watch. Next, we're moving on to Jupiter's Legacy.
This is the one I saw.
Did you see all of them?
I did.
I couldn't stop. I don't want to say it's
I
the
can't
greatest.
say the same.
Basically it's a story about a group of normal people that get superpowers and they try to figure out what they're going to do with it, and basically the morality of when they're getting towards their end of their life cycle. Once they start having kids, what does that mean? Their kids are they get superpowers from it as well.
And then they're trying to figure out if that code still applies.
Yes,
to
they have
today's
a
day and
very
age.
strong code, and there's a bunch of backstories.
And I will say I agree with you in the fact that initially, like I couldn't stop watching, and then there was this point where it felt like the storyline kind of
lagged.
like a spring broke loose.
The only code that I'm aware of that I really care about is up, up, down, down, left, right, B, start.
A-B, select start.
No, you fucked it up and we just lost 30 guys. Thanks, asshole.
That's not the first time.
That's all the guys that we need.
Maybe not for you.
I think this is actually going to get picked up for a second series, and
that wouldn't surprise me.
It should, and I'd like to see them. They do pretty good at character development, but it feels like they almost have too many characters, and they didn't go into the ones that they needed to as
more
much
in
as they
depth.
should. And I believe they'll get a second go of it.
And I mean, and in the show's defense, usually that first season's always going to be establishing, and doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get. I mean, you could even say the same about Game of Thrones in a way.
Well, it had its ups and downs, but like after they got through that first season, they had their base hooked.
Right.
But right now, there's so many streaming television providers right now that there's so many out there that you can get hooked on so many different things. I compared this. It reminds me of Invincible in a certain way, which is on Prime, and I'm going to do a review on it at some point. But it's a cartoon.
You did not compare it to The Boys.
The
Boys is freaking awesome.
I love The Boys, and the only reason I could,
can I take that out of context?
You can.
you may not.
No, it
love The Boys.
It is a fabulous show, man. It is good.
The Boys.
Yes.
Yeah, and it is, and I
It
want to
is
do
easily
a
one of
review
my.
on it.
It's one of my favorites.
I think the only reason I made that comparison to The Boys in the sense that they deal with complexity of
Yes.
what you have superpowers, like you have Homelander, who's this colossal fucking asshole,
Yeah.
and homicidal, and what does he do with it? He doesn't have a code in the sense that Utopian and Jupiter's Legacy has that code that he lives by, that he doesn't allow himself to be a colossal asshole.
Right.
I thought it was like the yin to the yang and what that means with superheroes now.
Interesting perspective. Yes.
I sounded smart when I said that.
You did.
Good job. It'll be the end of that shit. What just came out this last Friday, and I've been waiting for weeks, maybe even months. Army of the Dead. Wow, this is a Netflix heavy episode. Holy crap! 3 of them in a row.
Are we sponsored by Netflix?
No. Well, that'd be. Oh
should be.
God.
Dun-dun.
I would lose my shit. Yeah. Oh God, if they just gave us the intro music for each movie review, but I do everybody else's stuff, so I couldn't do that. The awesome intro scene. Yes, it has an awesome intro scene. It's Zack Snyder did the movie, and it takes me back. He redid Dawn of the Dead in 2004, and before that, I didn't really have two shits about any zombie movies. I was absolutely hooked on that. If it wasn't for that, I don't know if we would have had as much interest as we did in The Walking Dead later on. It's not, Zack Snyder just knows how to make movies. A lot of people hate him because of what happened with the whole DC universe and all that, and Warner Brothers really holding him back. But whatever. The only negative thing I would say on this, it was 2 hours and 30 minutes long for a zombie movie. It felt like it was a tad long. There's a couple scenes that went way long on it.
2 hours.
Like the zombie sex scene. I would say that was probably really, really overdone.
No, not in this movie. As I was watching this, I had this thought, and I tweeted it out instantly.
I get the gist. From what I understand, this is not typical zombies. These are.
Yeah, they're a little bit different in the sense that
they got brains.
They shop at the
there's
Gap.
two different ones. They have these ones called the alphas that are a little bit more evolved.
Right.
Then you have your normal ones. I forget what they called them.
Omegas,
Chamblers,
the Zeldas,
Ramblers, or something like
Chandler
that.
Bing.
They just walk around. They're just
They're called
stereotypical ones.
Ramblers?
Those ones, I'm pretty sure I could survive. Like, if there's a zombie outbreak, I'm pretty sure I could make it a couple days if there's slow-moving ones. If it's the fast-moving ones, I'm fucked.
That's what I was getting the gist.
All you have to do is you just have to be faster than the slowest
ones.
person.
Fast
That's it.
ones, and they actually think.
Yes, and these ones do, and these ones, I don't want to spoil a lot of what happens there, but because I absolutely resounding say watch this movie,
Okay.
they're trying to survive in their own little zombie ways, which sounds cheesy, but it's not. There are some goofy parts of this where you're like, what the hell is going on? You're kind of like, really? Like, there's one scene in particular, the opening scene. There's a guy that's parachuting down into Las Vegas Strip. It's falling apart. It's based in Las Vegas. It's just absolutely falling apart, and he's just parachuting into it with only a pistol. You're like, well, this guy's gonna die. And yep, there he goes. I'm like, well, that was dumb.
Yeah, you don't bring a knife to a gunfight.
What the hell are you doing? Right before this came out, people in the movie theaters, or like critics, got the early release to it, and that's on my bucket list is for somebody to give us an
To
early
be a critic?
release. No, well, no,
Because you're already doing that.
yes, to give
There's
us
no two ways about that, my friend.
to be an early we get early access to something where we can kind of get something to build some hype for them. That's on my bucket list to do because I believe I can actually pull that off. We'll probably have to sign an NDA, which is also on my bucket list. Not a
I saw
legit
that
one.
bucket list there, and you also said to have a bucket.
Yes,
That one's easy. You might want to put that one the first thing to do.
they
today.
were making
Get a bucket?
Get a bucket.
they were making fun of
Fuck it.
David Bautista in his limited acting range, and as I was watching it, I was like, "Shut the fuck up!" Like he's a wrestler turned actor. He's Drax, also in Guardian of the Galaxy, and
Oh, okay, yeah.
he's a wrestler. Like for God's sakes, he's supposed to go in there and make shit look cool and do limited acting. Like I didn't see anything wrong with his performance in it. And it's funny, like he just made a comment about Guardians of the Galaxy, saying the third one's going to be my last movie, and people are getting pissed off. He's like, "What the
Are
hell
they
do you want me
turning
to do?"
on the movie series already? Is that what they're doing?
They were turning. He said he was
Or they're
kind
turning
of
on
done
him.
playing Drax. He's like, by the time it comes out, I'm going to be 54 years old. What do you want me to do? Everything's going to start sagging at a point.
Yeah, but you know, I mean, the guy who played I'm totally blanking right now, but in the Harry Potter series, you know, the guy who was the all-seeing, all-knowing person, Gandalf. Is it Gandalf? No, that's God damn it.
That's Lord of the Rings.
That's Lord of the
yeah.
Rings. Yeah, no, that's not the guy.
I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I've only seen one
well,
Harry
anyway,
Potter movie.
the guy who
like
who's
7
in
to
Harry
go.
Potter, and
I
you're
just don't
probably
get into
and
it.
everybody who's listening is probably yelling at me, telling me the
That's
name.
part of
and I'm
our.
sorry,
That's
I
part
can't
of our
hear
bit
you.
is that people
Snape?
are screaming at
Is
the
it
thing.
Snape?
No, but Snape kills Dumbledore. That's the guy. Dumbledore.
Dumbledore.
I just
Oh,
had
is
to
that
give
a
you something
Professor
to-
Snape.
But you know, Dumbledore
It's
died.
all like Kevin
the
Bacon.
guy
I just
who,
had to give you the
Yeah.
name to lead to the name.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It was only one degree, and that
Yeah,
was
that's
actually
pretty
really
good.
quick. Yeah,
Dumbledore.
congratulations on being
And
efficient,
especially for a
Ghosty.
guy that's only seen one of the movies.
I know. So anyway, the guy who plays Dumbledore, he died as the series was being produced, and they replaced him with somebody else. So it is possible that he could still do the movies right to the point to where he dies, and then just have somebody stand in his place, like the movie Plan 9 from Outer Space. Which I don't know if you know this or not. Have you seen Plan 9 from Outer Space?
No.
It's one of the fabulous Ed Wood movies that ever came out. Bela Lugosi plays kind of like a Dracula type of character, vampire, and partially through the movie you'll see him doing his parts, and then partially through the movie you'll see him like cover himself up with his cape. So all you see is like his eyes on up. Everything else is covered because he died during the production of the movie. And so what happened was they replaced him with his chiropractor. And so every scene that his chiropractor's in, he's covering his face and just looming around like he has no lines. He's just walking around with a
Is that
cape
a legit
over his
story?
face. It is a legit story. Yes, Google it.
I'm not going to Google it. I don't have time
I'm not telling
for
you to
that.
Google it. I'm telling you to Google it.
You Google it.
You Google it.
Google off.
Hey, to wrap up the Army of the Dead, I would, if I had a soundboard that was working that said it was fantastic, I would play that and say
It's good.
That
Okay,
right
well,
there.
there you go.
That's what I would play.
That's
if
what you
I had
need
a
to
choice.
hear.
That goes back to Army of the Dead, right?
Yes, Army of the Dead.
Army
I
of
thought
the
was
Dead
good.
is good. Okay,
Hey,
you just give
you
it
know
two
what?
thumbs
And
up.
don't start hating on me on Twitter saying that you didn't like it. Hey, if you don't like zombie movies, you're not going to like this one. If you want to be entertained for
I
two
do
and a half
dig
hours,
If you do like, and I do, I like
you would-
zombie movies.
I don't mind
this
zombie
movie would
movies. They're
not.
fun.
It would not disappoint you.
Okay.
My brother-in-law is like scared to death of zombies, and it's kind of funny too because he spends so much time on zombie movies, zombie culture, if that's such a thing, and he even like plays zombies in Call of Duty.
I know
and
one
is
guy
scared
that
shitless of
absolutely
it, but he
does
loves
not
it.
like zombie movies because, as he put it, it's a suspension of belief, and yet he is or suspension of belief.
Isn't that basically what all movies are, with the exception of documentaries?
The guy's a huge Star Wars fan, so I said,
Oh no, yeah, you're
sure,
right.
pass your lightsaber over.
I hear they work great for cheese slicers.
You know, we talked about Dawn of the Dead earlier. I said that Zack Snyder rebooted the Dawn of the Dead movie with his take on it in 2004. It got me thinking about what sequels you think were better than the first. To me, it wasn't really a sequel; it was a reboot. But the Dawn of the Dead one was better for me in 2004. And I know the purist zombie movies are going to be absolutely crushing me for that. But hey, I feel what I feel.
2004. Is that the
one went into the mall.
Oh, yeah. You like that one?
I did.
Okay.
I never seen anything like that up until that point. I had a pretty sheltered life.
It was a different version, yeah.
I enjoyed it.
It reminded me a little bit of Day of the Comet. Do you remember that?
No. Actually, I just saw a movie with a comment.
that Wednesday?
Last night. That's
I think
what
They
that
it
was
were all
Wednesday.
trapped in a mall, weren't they? Am I thinking of the right movie?
I don't know what the fucking movie you're talking about. I'm not a movie guy.
Basically, the comet goes
and I've
flying.
said that before.
Mike keeps looking at the clock, so we'll shut up.
No, I'm looking at Tony now.
Oh, I thought you were looking at the clock.
No.
He's
yeah.
giving me the
Okay,
stink
so
eye. Why
basically,
are you giving me the stink eye?
if I remember the movie, I mean, it was in the 80s, and I've only seen it once my entire life. But basically, a comet comes around, tail of the comet somehow engulfs the Earth, and then people are turned into zombies. And a good portion of the movie takes place in a mall.
I want to see this now. I enjoyed it.
Is it the Mall of
And
America?
I could be
Because if that's the
completely
case,
wrong.
I would love to go on
I
the
could be
roller coaster
completely
ride.
wrong because it's one of those things where, like, I don't know. I just remember the movie, but I don't remember if that's the right name or what. And
Well-
I'm sure somebody will let us know.
Please do.
And if we're wrong, that's fine because
Speaking of
there
good-
is a better podcast.
We're just gonna get all those out of the way right now. It's mediocre.
No, I don't
All
have
right.
that one.
Speaking of what? Mediocre. All right. Titanic 2 was probably better than the first.
There was a
What?
sequel? Did they raise it from the dead and like put
They
it
just
back?
brought it back
They
up and it sunk again like 3 feet later.
they just like wrapped some duct tape.
No, that was just
oh,
me.
that was the Flexio commercial. That's right.
Actually, we should do a skit about that, but I made that part up. I thought it was funny. Terminator 2 I actually thought was better than the original. And actually, I don't even
fucking love Terminator 2.
I didn't
And
think it's close. I think it was that much better than the first one.
The first one was great just because of what it was. It was groundbreaking. But then, yeah, that was one of the few movies that totally outdid itself.
Thor Ragnarok was better than the first two, and it's not
Okay,
even,
Ghosty. Why are you giving me that look? You didn't like number 2?
Actually, I'm going to be honest with you. My mind was completely somewhere else.
Oh,
so
You were thinking about the Titanic going back up?
No, just freaking move on.
He was thinking about drawing us like our other French horror.
Thor Ragnarok. Thor. Hey. I had one rule when I started this podcast, didn't I, Tony?
What? Call you a slut as much
Yes,
as I can?
and spit on me. No.
I am way over here. There's no way.
You can reach.
I can.
We do not.
Glug.
What is that? 3 feet?
You can get
Easily. Just a couple extra pumps.
We do not.
We do not slut shame.
We do not slut shame on our
Unless
show.
it's me. You can slut shame the hell
Yes,
out of me.
You're
I
fair
don't care.
game. I'm fair game.
I'll
We're
be
fair
honest
game.
with it. Slut shame me all you want. I'm
No,
good with it.
ourselves only. We don't shut.
Can I pull your hair while we're at it?
Oh, you better believe it. I
This
want
is-
you to.
I'm in.
I've lost control. We lost them, but
That makes a claim that you ever had it to begin with.
yeah. But we don't slut shame others on that. That's not our thing. We're not going to do that. I don't judge what other people do in their lives. So do what you want to do.
Yeah, do what you want to do. You do you, and I do me.
Yep.
That's usually what happens every.
And that's why you get slut shamed. Thor Ragnarok was better than the first two by a wide mileage, and I am going to probably put that in my top 10 movies of all time.
Wow.
I love that movie so much. My kid hates me for
Was
it.
this a Netflix
I
one
hate
too?
you too.
Thor Ragnarok?
Yeah.
No, it's
That just goes without
it's
saying.
Disney Plus. It's on.
Oh,
it's a
yeah,
Thor
that's-
one.
I would
It has
know.
like a bunch of like 80s throwback music to it, and it's just the way it's done. It was like with the way the first two movies should have been. I was a Thor guy growing up, so
Oh, man. I went on an 80s marathon recently.
oh boy. Speaking of which,
If you're
I
Thor,
want to list them, but
if you're
we're,
Thor,
we're
take
getting
some
low on time,
Tylenol.
so
we are getting
I'm
low on
just-
time. I'm going to wrap this
nah.
last one up. I actually thought National
Bitch.
Lampoon's Christmas Vacation was better.
Awesome.
Was better than any of the other.
yeah, that's my
Lampoon.
favorite.
It was
of
a
all the
sequel to
Lampoon
it, and it
movies,
was
too.
better.
Sequel
than-
to the sequel.
It was
Sequel to the
much
sequel?
better.
Yeah.
I love that rant so bad or so much when he's like,
I want to tell him what a
So is that on Disney, too?
No good, rotten, for flushing,
National
low
Lampoon's
life,
Christmas
snake
Vacation.
licking, dirty.
I was just thinking about
inbred,
movies that are better than the
overstuffed,
first.
Oh,
ignorant,
gotcha.
blood-sucking, dog-kissing, brainless, dickless,
This
hopeless,
sucker.
heartless, fat-ass, bug-eyed,
The
stiff-legged,
piece
spotty-lipped,
of shit he-
worm-headed sack of monkey
monkey
shit he is. Hallelujah.
Holy
Holy
shit!
shit.
Where's the
Tylenol?
Tylenol? I love that movie.
I
It
spent-
is
Love
a classic.
I spent so long memorizing that.
I can't wait till we get to Christmas. We do a
Just
Christmas
so I
special.
could do that here.
I'm not willing to say it's better than the first, but it is good.
Coco Chanel number 5, you've just been
You've
doing.
been
I'm
demoted
sorry.
to number 4.
I'm sorry. I still dig the first one.
Hey, let's wrap this up.
Now the other two,
You're an idiot.
Or not really wrap it up, but we're
The
going
first
to
one's fine.
Vegas was awful.
Vegas was terrible.
It was awful.
And then Cousin Eddie, the made-for-TV
Oh
movie,
my
they knew
God,
it wasn't
that
going to go
was just
anywhere.
atrocious.
They knew it wasn't going to go anywhere.
European Vacation was okay.
It was fun.
It was fun.
Yeah. and
None
you
of that was better than
my
Christmas
favorite
Vacation.
my favorite part of
Sequels that are better than the first. Jeez.
I could have done more with that segment. I feel like we should do more next time.
Yeah, I think we should. I think that we had to throw that out.
Let's
That's a
wrap up
great
with
idea.
our final segment. It is the segment that says there is a better podcast, and we're going to give it to you. The one I chose this week is Next on Stage 1.
Wait. Were you done with the movie reviews?
Yeah, I'm done with it.
Oh, wait. We
gotta close it out then.
Close it out.
Close it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
All right,
Close it.
close it
I
out.
forgot about that.
Never done this before in my life, by the way, so get ready.
All right, get that mouth harp. Mike's movie review. Yeah, Mike's movie review.
Oh my God! You literally pulled that out of your back pocket. Wait, did you go find that? Did you go find a harmonica?
I might have.
Oh my God!
That's
I was wondering what
probably
you're
why
fumbling
I
around.
now
on.
understand why the guys all like do the whole.
Oh yeah, I can teach you. I was gonna say I can teach you how to bend a note, but I think you just figured it out.
Look at it's the guy from Blues Traveler.
You can fit about 3 of Coco Chanel.
No, he
into-
lost a bunch of weight. He's skinny. You wouldn't even.
Still,
recognize
you can throw
And he's
about 3 of them. No,
and that's what
wouldn't
I
wanna
always
meet
feel
him in a
bad
dark
about
alley.
guys that like John Popper, Drew Carey, guys that seem to be much happier when they
were
not
larger.
skinny.
Yes, larger than life.
All right,
Hey,
take it away.
Wait, but I'm a big fucker, and I'm not.
You're not
happy.
a big fucker.
I'm not happy. Well, that's
You are
what she
not a
said.
big fucker.
That is exactly what she said.
You're a tiny fucker.
Not exactly what she said, but she's like, "You're just a normal fucker."
Our last segment is There's a Better
Thanks.
Podcast, and this week we chose for our recommendation. It is Next on Stage 1. It's with Mr. J and Pixie, and what they do, and I love them for this. They have a stripper, or they say adult, an adult
Wait,
entertainment.
are we? Oh, okay.
No, I'm serious.
Oh,
Legit?
I thought you were. I
They're
thought you
legit.
just like.
They do an adult entertainment
thought you just
podcast
fumbled
about
again.
strippers, and entertainers. And
Now, were they on the show with Rocky Powell as well?
No,
they
I don't
should
believe so.
be. They totally should be. Or I would assume so. But
you know why? The reason why I love them that much is
just brought that
because
up from last
they
week.
have a very, very niche podcast, and they make it work for them. They have. It's going to be hard as hell to market them. It's probably hard to bring people in because people probably don't want to know a whole lot about it, and there's probably the ones that do. So I appreciate them and that they struggle with it. I think it's unique and fun. They actually gave us the first boost on Twitter that we ever had to a retweet to all their thousands of followers, and it was just at the time that we needed it. We were feeling a little sluggish, and we had a huge boom from that. So
Thank
for
you,
that
Next One
alone,
Stage
we'll
One.
be forever grateful. My recommendation actually is to listen to season 2, episodes 7 and 8, and that's actually with Steve the Doorman. And Steve the Doorman has some pretty unique and interesting stories.
is
that
he like
has.
our Ghosty?
No, because he's not a recurring segment or a recurring guest. But he has, and I believe Steve is.
But he made the show better.
He's 6'6", 310 pounds. That is not Ghosty.
That is far from Ghosty. That's John Popper territory.
But
can he play a mean harmonica?
I'll close with this. Pixie and Mr. J, keep up the great work. We enjoy your podcast. We hope that one day we produce something that you guys would enjoy as well.
Whoa! Don't, you gotta lower that bar, my friend.
As always, we'll wrap this one up saying thanks
nice
for
little
listening.
bow.
You can follow us on There's a Better There's a Better One on Twitter.
It's the number one.
Was
There's a better number one.
constraints better?
Yes, we'll stay.
Yeah.
Next time we will. That's fine.
It's
our
our
show.
producer.
We can do
It's
whatever.
telling us something.
Self-imposed.
It's
Our
it's
producer is telling us shut the fuck up. Okay.
That's
Thank you,
us.
Coco Chanel number 8.5. There's a story behind that one too.
There's a Better Podcast on Instagram, and I actually said Instagram, not the gram.
You even wrote it on the notes as the gram.
I know, I never do that.
know
And
what?
There's a Better Podcast
You're
at
fired.
gmail.com. As always, if you stayed with us this long, what's wrong with you? No, we appreciate you guys, and we love interacting with you guys on social
Yes,
media.
we love interacting
and
with
love
all of
that
you,
we're
and
getting
please continue to do so because you are what make the show happen.
Yes,
honestly.
absolutely.
Even
And-
though you don't provide the mics or us for that matter, but you are really what make the show happen.
Or beer.
or the beer,
or the beer,
or the
or the
recording equipment, or the
location,
housing,
or
or
the
But
computers.
really, in the end, the very bare minimum, it's you who make it happen.
This is the longest outro in human
Ambiguous
history.
YOU, and you know who I'm talking about. It's you.
It's you.
Bless you.
You.
Hit him with the outro. See you next week, guys. Stay safe.